Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zoom Into Wine. It's time for the show and your host, Ian Blackburn.
Good evening, everybody. It's time to Zoom Into Wine. My name is Ian Blackburn, and I thank you guys for joining us tonight. I have got a little bit of a travel head, meaning you sit on an airplane listening to people sneeze from all over the world, and you pick up a little bit of a head cold. I get it every single time I come back from Europe, but I actually got it when I was in Europe this time, so I'm already ahead of the game, feeling much better. I can smell and taste just fine, just sound a little bit cracked up. But I had a great trip to Europe. Highly encourage everybody to get out of this country for a couple of days and see what the rest of the world's doing, and it was beautiful. Things were absolutely cranking in London. So with that, I'm back. I'm ready to rock and roll. The store's been doing great. Thank you for your support. We are well ahead of last year. Another economic indicator, I think. The type of wines we're selling, much different than in years past. Selling a lot of very high-end stuff. Not a lot of the volume stuff. Champagne stays very quiet. But there's some really nice wine being exchanged this year for the holidays and drank, hopefully. I think this event, it will help us all. I know that Barolo and Brunello is something we've done every year. The way we're going to do it this year may be a little different than in the years past. I've been asked by a number of people to do a few more blind type of tastings. So I'm going to keep this fairly blind. We showed you lists of the wines. You can throw those out the window. Those are the wines we're going to taste, but that's not the order we're necessarily going to be tasting in. The idea tonight is to see if you can figure out which one's Brunello, which one's Barolo, which one you like. I'll reveal two at a time. I've got two glasses that I'm using at the same time. Wine 1 and wine 2. One of them is a Barolo, or from Barolo, I should say. And one of them is from Brunello, or from Montalcino, is what I should say. Why? Let's get into it. Here we go. The six wines we're going to taste. One of them, I will refer to them as the six, but Castello de Verduno is one of the producers. We're going to try the Pelaverga from Piedmont, the 2023. Those of you that have been to went to Barolo with me about 2 years ago already. Can't believe it's already been 2 years. We went to Verduno, a great producer, and Pelaverga is a really cool local indigenous grape variety, not very well known, but very like a Barolo light, and elegant and delicious, and I think you're going to love it. And it's something we've carried for a long time. I love to make sure we have that wine in stock. Then a really significant and important producer, Pian Dell'Orino. We're going to try they're basically their Rosso. And this is a producer that makes like $300 Brunello. So their entry-level wine is still almost as expensive as a Brunello. And we'll talk about that as we get into it a little bit more. We're going to try the Damilano, the Barolo Cannubi, single vineyard, 2018. It was near a 100-point score, a beast. And great to show it with seven years on it. 18 is a really great vintage. Altesino, a super dependable producer, and 2019, about as good a vintage as you can get. A little darling producer, up and coming, female, Giulia Negri, We're going to try her magnificent Barolo, close to 100 points, 2020. Young, but really great to try it now because you're going to want to place your bets. Her wines are spectacular, and she's not messing around. She's absolutely going to be one of the top names in Barolo going forward. Still very young and just getting started. Just still, well, people finding out about what she's doing. Casanova de Neri, almost no introduction needed. Been a perennial top performer. We're going to try their white label tonight and see how it does. Again, the game is you got two wines in front of you, 1 and 2, then we'll do 3 and 4, and then we'll do 5 and 6. And we've kind of blinded them up, mixed them up in batches and stuff. And we'll let you pick a favorite and see if you can figure out which one is from Tuscany, which one's from Barolo, or which one's from Montalcino, and which one's from the Barolo area. And with that, let's go into our next slide. Threw up a different slide of Tuscany at last second because I didn't like the slide that we were showing before, but basically Tuscany, this represents Tuscany. It's unfortunately, this is a VS map from the importer VS, and it doesn't show you the names of the cities. It just shows you the names of the brands. Didn't realize that till a little too late, but this is where Montalcino is right here, and they represent a couple of different brands in Montalcino. And you got your Chianti zone up here. You've got places like Bolgheri over here, and lots of other little villages throughout Tuscany that make wine. But Montalcino is right there. Now, it's not the map does not say Brunello on the map because Brunello is the wine they make in Montalcino, and Brunello has a very high standard. It dates back to the 1800s. I'm sorry, the 800s as a winemaking region. Didn't start getting recognized as a wine named Brunello until 1700s, and that's when they started to identify some of the differences between the grape varieties and the places. And Sangiovese is the grape variety, but they use a variety there called Sangiovese Grosso, grows in the mountains, a little thicker skin, creates a different wine. And then they started to apply different rules. Now, back a long time ago, it was 5 years to be called a Brunello, and wineries used to actually keep it for 5 years in a wood barrel. And there were some that wanted to go longer, go shorter, but that much time in wood was starting to age out the wines, and people started to appreciate fresher and fresher wines. So now it's 5 years is the rule, but it doesn't have to all be in the barrel. It typically is about 2 years in wood and about 2 years in the bottle. That last year, kind of in transit to the market. It takes it has to be like 5 years from vintage to be able to be called Brunello, and that's why right now in December we're seeing the 2019s, and in January we'll see 2020s come in January for Brunello to Montalcino. The 2020s are on their way. There's a category called Rosso that is the fresh younger wine that can be released after a year. And so we see some different iterations in the market now, 2023s, probably in the market or heading into this market. 2024 is next year. There's also some Reserva wines that have to be longer than 5 years. And so those are probably in the 18s. I'm still buying them from the 16 vintage, which was awesome as well. I do believe in the vintage chart when it comes to Brunello, but I also believe even more so in the named producers. I'd much rather buy a great named producer than just a vintage. And there's been great wines made every single year. They just display themselves a little bit differently, and we'll explain that as we go along. Sangiovese is the main player in Tuscany. You can put any village name on them from Tuscany, and they're probably including Sangiovese until you get to the Super Tuscan category, and that's when they started using Merlot and Cabernet Franc and eliminating Sangiovese from the wines. But Sangiovese is just such a remarkable grape variety, and it goes through its ups and downs. It got a little too everywhere for a while, and people started to maybe look outside of Chianti, get a little bored with Chianti. So what happened? Chianti got really good again, and it's starting to capture a lot more imagination. You've got your Reservas, you've got your Gran Reservas, you got your Gran Selecciones now. And so there's a lot of places to put the Sangiovese grape variety. And I think better days are even ahead for this category. But Brunello has been on fire for such a long time, and it is where the investment money has been going. Investment bankers, big hedge funds wanting to buy land because Brunello de Montalcino maintains the highest price point as a category of any wine category on the planet. And so if you can be a part of that and own the product, the land, that's been deemed a very good investment. And I think 10, 15 years from now, Brunellos are going to be worth even much, much more than we are already seeing them today. It's a place of growth in price, not a place of growth in production size. All the land is planted, and it is what it is. You're not going to see more and more Brunello coming onto the market. Now, Barolo, on the other hand, also a very defined place. We're in Piedmont. We're north of Chianti, north of Tuscany, in a place that was very much established by the mindset of the French. The towns look a little bit more French-inspired. The grape growing, the wine making, the food practices change quite significantly as you get into Piedmont. Barolo and Barbaresco are neighboring towns. They are part of the Langhe. They make wines there from the grape Nebbiolo. They are not blended wines, and they are monovarietal. They have lots of rules. They are able to take volume quantity and make a lesser wine, blending it into a wine from like a Nebbiolo de Langhe, or just calling it Langhe. And so they have some different things that they can do. If the vineyards aren't great, they could plant other grape varieties. A lot of people plant Barbera. And so the selection of the hillsides that go into the Nebbiolo grape variety tend to be the very best soils with the best expositions. Here's a look at the Nebbiolo grape variety. It is a voluminous grape. And it grows exceptionally well on these very unique soil beds with great exposures, wonderful hillsides, famous for the foggy mornings and the amazing mountains that surround Barolo and create the atmosphere that is required for this stunning wine region. One of the wines that we're going to taste tonight is made from a kind of A grape variety that isn't very predominant, but is grown in the Barolo zone. Pelaverga is the name of the grape variety, and it looks a little bit like a cluster of Nebbiolo, but doesn't have the thickness of the skins, doesn't carry the power either. It's much more of an elegant grape variety. I think it'll be easy to pick out, but I think you'll like it a lot. So now it's time for wines 1 and 2 to be tasted next to each other and to explore them. What I'm hoping to establish tonight are some patterns when we taste wines from Barolo. The classic nose, tar, and roses are the references that we get for wines from Barolo. Barolo can differ from its color. It doesn't. I wouldn't say it's a typically dark or black type of a wine. It's going to have almost Pinot-esque kind of coloration. It can lean into the rusty, as things start to age, kind of brown a little bit. Whereas Brunello and Nebbiolo really advances pretty slowly and can be very dark. So color could be a very good guide tonight in helping you decide which one's which. But let's pretend that you can't see the wine and smell these wines, because I think place really will change the spirit in the wine glass, and you'll be able to smell them and say, okay, that is Barolo and that is Brunello. And that's kind of the fun. That's when the fun really begins. They're both very tannic, very high acid zones. And let's get some feedback going already. If you want to use the chat, you could do it there. Place your bets, make some comments. Let's talk about wine number 1. Wine 1 has got some really kind of dense fruit, cherry, orange peel, brown spices, some herbs. Wine 2. Nose is a little bit less fruit oriented. It's definitely got that lighter color, very soft in color. Very savory nose, though. Would I go as far as tar? No, but certainly like rose petals. definitely. Taste them both. Taste number 2 with me. Obviously, both these wines are very dry. Wine 2 has a gentleness about it. It's kind of, I said Pinot-esque a little earlier, maybe even more like Grenache, because it does have some pretty good tannins there. There's so much minerality in it. The color is, gosh, it's almost like that would be a light color for a Pinot. It's almost like watermelon in red, and it's red. Does anybody else have a good coloration comparison? It's like a soft cherry, like if you were making it a rosé almost. That would be a dark rosé, but it is not dark. But again, if you're looking at these wines and almost not looking at their color and tasting them and feeling their complexity, smelling their complexity, savory, really fun with food. My mouth is drying out as I'm talking. Pink rose petal. There you go. Finish is fairly short. Light, lean, but clean, pretty. What is that great dessert or appetizer that you have in Piedmont that's made with tuna? Lisa, I know you're here tonight. Can you help?
I know, I'm thinking of it, and I know you love it. I can think we had some amazing wine that night that we opened.
Yeah. What is it called with the tuna? I'm gonna have to get Google involved here.
That's what I was gonna do.
Okay. Tuna appetizer in Piedmont. Vitello.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's iconic Piedmontese appetizer. Consists of very thin slices of slow-cooked veal. Eye of the round, served cold and covered in velvety, rich sauce made from tuna, anchovies, capers, mayonnaise, or egg yolks. It's the most unique thing to the region. I mean, you don't go out to dinner, even in LA, and get offered Vitello very often. So it's really unique to the area, and it is so delicious. And as soon as I smell that wine, number 2, I'm taken straight to that tuna Vitello dish as being like the perfect thing to have with that wine right there. Not too powerful, perfect for an appetizer. You could have it with fish. You could have it with, some different types of softer entry type of items. Some of the other famous little things that you would have, like you might have zucchini blossoms. Maybe that's even more appropriate for a white wine. But if you wanted to just order a red and have it with so many different things throughout the night, this might be the right angle to take. I love the nose. It's very pretty. As you get maybe into like sip number 2, smell number 3, it starts to grow on you. And I think the wine's opening up a lot. Let's go back to number 1 and give it another browse. I already saw a lot of very intelligent comments in the chat. Can you pick up on how pronounced that number 1 is? And that is the Pian Dell'Orino. That's the name of the producer. It's the 2022. This is a wine made from 15 acres of vines in 4 different vineyard areas in Montalcino. (100% Sangiovese). They take their young vines and put them into this wine. This is a super high quality producer. They don't make anything slouchy or cheap. So this is really attempting to capture the imagination of people that want to enjoy some of the better winemaking practices in the area and to enjoy from one of the better producers. You can see the roses there here in the garden. If anything, this wine's gotten more powerful. Sometimes wines open up and they get softer. This thing has gotten, like, the muscles have started to flex. Wow, that thing is just super balanced. Got some really juicy character to it. Or approximately $60 for a Rosso. So this is like baby Brunello land, but they keep this pretty fresh. Doesn't have the 5-year minimum. And on our website, Merchant of Wine, if you take the name there and you go into the search, you'll see I also carry their Brunello, which got 100 points. 2019. That's $160.
Ian, are you supposed to be showing us your website or you?
I'm sorry, it's not showing, is it? I cut out a while ago. So there is the Brunello. Go back, and there is the wine that's in our glass. Piandorino. And it carries Tuscan IGT, so they don't have to follow some of the rules in the Montalcino area. Gives them some flexibility here, and they're able to keep it out of the bureaucracy of Montalcino.
So this is number 1?
It is.
Okay.
Name of our winemakers: 100% Sangiovese, 93 points Jeb Dunnick. Mixed red and dark berries, as well as crushed violets and fresh earth. The palate is medium framed with a sunny feel throughout the mid palate, and it closes to notes of ripe orange and mouth-watering accents of salty earth. It's still one of the best values in the whole region, and it's going to drink well over the coming 10 years. You smell that again, capture that orange essence, that orange zest, that blood orange. Kind of crisp, kind of cranberry. Not as deep and as powerful as some of the other wines we're going to taste tonight, but a fun entry wine. And a brand to definitely be acquainted with. These guys are absolutely one of the top scoring brands and producers. Everyone can't wait to taste the new releases from these guys. They've had 100-point scores multiple times, maybe 6 of the last 10 vintages, 100-point scores. Wine number 2 that we just had there is the Castello di Verduno, the Pelaverga, sorry, got my R in the wrong spot. Pelaverga. And Verduno is a really great producer also to know, historically important. This is the 2023, even fresher, and I'm sure the 24 will be here soon. I love the notes on the nose on this wine, I really do. Winemaker Mario Androni actually had lunch with us when we visited. Owned by Gabriella Bertolotti and Franco Bianco, and they own a lot of things, a lot of different brands. This cellar is under the castle in Barolo. There's a look at the hills of Barolo and the way the grapes kind of enjoy that sunshine, kind of like a hand reaching out to the sky. 100% Pelaverga. And this is a wine that Verduno's made for a long time and continues to represent very small production. And so it's really kind of made for that Italian wine-loving fan who wants something a little different. This is very indigenous, only grown in this area. It's not like they're taking Pinot Noir or Grenache from France and bringing it. This is indigenous and it's old school. And what I love about this picture is it shows you the distant mountains and how they really create the atmosphere that Barolo grows inside of, and also how steep and rolling the hills are, and how the vineyards are really, optimally positioned to capture the sunshine and take advantage of their exposition. $38.95. It also represents a really nice value. And if you go to an Italian restaurant with this wine in your hand, the sommelier will look at you and give you a wink. Say, you get it. This is like the wine for good Italian food. Roasted eggplant. You could carry it into the entree All right. Mm-hmm. Okay, what did you think? Did you guys kind of capture the spirit of the game here? Because I didn't ask you which one is which, but I'm going to ask you for the next several wines. And what I'd like to ask you now that you've tasted one and two, which ones did you prefer? How many of you preferred number one, and how many of you preferred number two? Give it to me on the chat. We'll keep score. All tied up right now too with peace. One, two, 1, 2. All right. Love it. I think it came out pretty close to even. That's fun. All right, so I don't ruin it. Let's go into wines 3 and 4 now. Empty your glasses. I'm going to exit the slideshow. Get it queued up for us. Been an exciting time. So I just came back from vacation, so my inbox has been being emptied all day long. I got here at 8 in the morning, started decluttering and apologizing. Man, it was a hard trip to work from because we were moving pretty hard and had a lot of plans. It was really my wife's vacation, and I couldn't work if I wanted to. I didn't want to, so that kind of helped. But I did a pretty good job of delegating and getting some help from my team, and I want to thank them for covering my butt for a couple of weeks so I could get some time away, and really enjoyed the spirit of Europe. It was gorgeous. It was cold. Woo! Between 32 and 45 degrees almost everywhere we went. A little bit of rain here and there. It didn't rain that hard though. I was prepared for needing to build Noah's Ark. We had rain gear for days and was often sweating wearing it all. But that's probably how I got sick, because I was just like, I'd show up to the next appointment walking up the hill or whatever wearing 5 coats and take it off and would be all sweaty and gross, and that's, it doesn't take much to knock me down. All right, let's taste the next 2 wines. They're in the glass, and I'm not going to show you the slideshow because it'll give them away, but let's start off with number 3, and I'll let you guys. Yeah, Tom will save my Dodger comments for later. We had some good news. Dodger Nation. Big. Ooh. You guys throw down the notes for me. I don't want to give it away. You could take guesses like Richard, or you could just put some subtle things on there. Ooh. They're perfect. Love that. What's maybe even harder than doing these 2 grapes next to each other is Barolo versus Burgundy, believe it or not. The colors are much more similar. Young Burgundy, especially young Burgundy, can be really spirited and have some powerful tannins to get through. Whereas these can get pretty different. Hope you're agreeing that they are pretty different. But there is such an Italian spirit in both these wines. And if you don't drink a lot of Italian wines, these wines can appear to be very similar. Janice, you notice the nose, number 4. That nose is gorgeous, by the way, number 4. And really carries the spirit of the place. Number 3 carries the spirit of its place, and it is much more like it's screaming out mountains, tannins, structure, power, muscles. Number 4, as you swirl number 4 around, you can see the color giving some way there. It's got kind of that brown olive. The nose is like flowers for days. What kind of day is it today? Because these things are screaming at me. I use an app called Wine When. And it is a fruit day. And that does not surprise me. I mean, we're talking a big fruit day. All day. It's been a fruit day. And with here in Los Angeles, a Chamber of Commerce day, the skies were high, blue. You could feel the atmospheric pressure keeping everything away. Temperatures were 80 degrees, gorgeous. It felt almost summery. How was it in Santa Monica, Lisa?
Gorgeous. Clear, hot, warm, but just so beautiful.
And the sunset was probably remarkable tonight. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing about being in Europe. It was something it never really impacted me until this trip. The sun didn't come up until like 8 in the morning, and the sun went down at like 4. So they had like 8 hours of daytime conditions. And I'd never noticed that before, because I travel there often in this time of the year, in November and stuff. This was a little later than normal, but it really impacted like our schedule and what we were doing and the weather, and you didn't want to get out of bed until the sun came up. So that was kind of interesting. And then things started to close down when the sun went down, and it was kind of sleepy. All right, Thomas, you like both? Good, Janice. I'm glad you like them both. Let me get into some of the slides. Can you start to pick out which one you think is which? Tell me which one you think is Tuscan or Brunello, because the choice is Brunello or Barolo this time. All right, so We'll start with number 3. I'm actually kind of glad I'm seeing some wrong answers come up on the board, because that means we got some ground to cover. Let's go. Wine number 3, Altesino Brunello di Montalcino. 2019, 95 points. Purchased by the Nudi Angelini, Elisabetta Nudi Angelini in 2002. They started creating the cru concept, so they have a couple of cru, like elevated single vineyard wines. Super beautiful vineyards. %100 Sangiovese, violet, tobacco, chocolate, vanilla. You can smell a little bit of wood in Brunello di Montalcino. You can feel it kind of layer in some character. These wines do typically see a pretty good amount of new wood and smaller wood barrels. You can feel some of that barrel char, as well as the tannins and the varietal. Blackberry plum envelop on the palate, adding elegant full-bodied volume and fine tannins along the way. The wine is aged in traditional Slovenian cask, and production reaches 111,000 bottles, about 10,000 cases. That's not that many for the world, but a well distributed wine. Very consistent, solid producer, gorgeous estate. $60 and capital, great value. Altesino does a really good job. Makes a wine that you can actually already start to enjoy. This is very elegant, not as powerful as some, but balanced, and really represents the category very, very well. Before I tell you about wine 4, got a couple trips coming up: Oregon, Sardinia, Champagne, New Zealand. Those are all coming up in 26. My Napa trip actually still has a seat left on it for January, and we've taken a price break for the unfortunate reason that French Laundry is going to stay closed the entire month of January. So I've conceded the dollars back on the French Laundry and lowered the price of the package. So if you want to get involved, we've got some amazing appointments, and we'll eat a little more casually. But dinner on Sunday night is still included, and we will do that now at Mustard's. But we've got lunches every day, great hotel with breakfast, staying in Yountville, able to walk to dinner on Friday night at Ciccio, owned by Frank Altamira. Saturday night at Ad Hoc, which is Thomas Keller Light, a little prefix menu at Ad Hoc. And then Sunday night we'll go to the classic Mustards. We're having really beautiful tasting experiences. It's pretty hard to get appointments. Meeting a couple small new guys, Nigel Kinsman, Aaron Pott, a couple others involved, lots of different producers involved, but Nigel makes two of the wineries that we're going to see. We'll hang out with Andy Erickson, Cervantes, and Xavier Cervantes, champion horse breeder. A couple others involved in the trip. So the trips are a big deal for us for 2026. Take a look. I don't have Champagne and New Zealand priced today, but they will be up on the website priced and ready to go next week if you want to give them as a Christmas present to somebody. Sardinia actually closed, and Oregon remains open. In Los Angeles, I'm doing this fun little concept called Wine Friender. It's a bring a bottle party, and you can come with couples, with the singles, as a group of four. Just make new wine friends and bring a story about why you brought the bottle you brought, and tell that story to the group. Be proud of the story. The story isn't I didn't have time to buy a nice wine for the party. It's bring about a bottle that you really enjoy and want to share with friends. And the wine quality from the last month, off the chain. This program is $59, and coming downtown should not scare you. My neighborhood is phenomenal. My classroom is beautiful. The cheese plate is from the Beverly Hills Cheese Store. And, my neighborhood, it's hard to find parking now because there's too many Range Rovers and Mercedes and BMWs. And so all the good parking is taken up. So we have a paid lot that's safe right across the street, right next to Girl of the Goat and Bavel. Wine number 4 in the glass is a Champion Barolo, and it is showing off. Probably not too fair to the Brunello, which was only a 95 pointer. This is 97 points. It's single vineyard Barolo. This is a pretty good sized producer. They haven't been in business forever as this producer, but the family's connected to Giuseppe Borgogno. Borgogno is one of the originals in Barolo, going back to 1890. Now, Barolo sounds old, but Barolo really didn't get organized and start making great wines until 1950s, 1960s. And even then, they were bottling the wine based on orders. So the wine could sit in the wood for years. And they were bottling it directly from the wood barrels into the bottles, and really didn't get organized until the 1980s. But it's absolutely one of the most beautiful wine growing regions in the world, especially by the time you get there in November with me. I'm going there in 2027. We go back every 3 years. We see a different set of wineries every single time. Stay at the same hotel. Eat at some of the same restaurants, but love having that as a touchstone. We work with Sylvia. She's my local representative there, and she has all the answers for us. Her husband is our bus driver. 100% Nebbiolo. And there are the brothers, Paolo, Mario, Guido. Let's see, enchanting aromas of red cherry. What is rambutan? strawberry and rose develop and open into a deeply flavored palate. A velvety wrap of tannins surrounding the dark plums and morello cherry, and a light dusting of vanilla. Beautiful. $80. This wine used to be $120 something. I bought it on a special price break. There was they've had so many good vintages in Barolo. The importer got a little behind in sales and gave a special price. So it's only an $80 bottle of wine. But it's, I've only had it in the store for like maybe 6 months. It's really, really charming right now. And it kind of enters in the window that you could start to drink 18s.
What do you think about the aging? I mean, when will it be at its peak?
I'm pretty sure that some of the reviewers have a little bit more to say, but you could see here James Suckling says try from 2024, best from 2025 through 2042. These wines give you access at a time like this, and they just don't change that quickly from here until the next phase, which is probably 20 years from now. They just hang there really beautifully, start to slowly tick tick tick. A little bit more rusticity enters the glass, adds a little bit more complexity. But this wine is so balanced and so pretty, and I love 18. And Cannubi is a really good soil. This is really a top site. If they had Grand Crus, this would be one of them. And I would not be afraid to open this now and to have it for the next 10 to 15 years. And I would say you'll be seeing it at kind of like peaking in probably 5 more years. But it's showing off today because it's a fruit. It's like a mega fruit day with that sunshine that we had today. I mean, this wine sat in the jars in the bag until I opened them with you guys at the class at the start of the program. But they can feel the atmosphere. They know what's going on, and these wines benefit from having this decantering. And if you decanter your Italians, Brunellos and Barolos for a good 24 hours, that's really helpful to these wines. Really fun. Very pretty. All right, I'm going to take the slideshow off the screen so we can go to the next 2 wines. Did you guys have? I see Richard got this one correct. Thank you, Richard. Jim, you too. Good job. Lisa, you got the Barolo. And that's all you had to do, get the Barolo right, because I told you the other one was Brunello. We'll get more of you on the right side of the score sheet with this next round, I think. And I'll do some more things like this if you guys like it. So let me know for 2026. Also, while we're prepping these next 2 wines, let me explain the membership program for Merchant of Wine. Because in years past, it used to be a Zoom into Wine membership. And it still is, but we had like 10 membership options and all that stuff. And we're just simplifying it this year. We have 1 membership. It's a Merchant of Wine membership that gives you 10% off the website a whole year. So, and you're going to see that we're going to become a little less sales oriented, because our prices we've been put either holding or bringing down if we can. Maybe it's just $1 or $2, but you're going to see us appear in the top, 10 rankings on Wine Searcher on any wine that's on our website. And the real value for some of you is the fact that we can deliver for either 20 or free. Outside the state, it's a flat $40 shipping on orders of $300 or more. So our shipping program has really been defined now. $20 flat rate in California, free in Los Angeles on orders over $100, and flat 40 outside of California on orders over $3. And it seems to be working quite well. We eat it in the shipping, but when you get that order size together, it works for both of us. And so that's how I think we can survive long term. And so we're giving you 10% off all year round. You don't need to wait for a discount code. There won't be a member price for the Zooms. You'll get 10% off on all the Zooms because you just enter in your passcode and boom. And it's going to be your passcode. And it's going to work well, I think. I think we'll need some time to develop the membership, but I think it's going to pay for itself very quickly. So if you guys are up for it, join our membership program and keep these Zooms rolling. Oh, also, we're going to just do 2 Zooms, maybe 3, in a month that has 5 Wednesdays. We'll do 3, but 2 Zooms per month so that we can really focus on them, make them a little bit better, get more winemakers involved, a little more time in production, make them a little bit more special. That's also what we're planning on doing for 2026.
Ian, when do you expect to issue the member codes?
They will start to work on January 1st. So as soon as you sign up, the code should be generated, but the discount works from January 1st to December 31st of 26.
Okay, I did sign up and I don't think I received it. So
okay,
there you go. Yeah.
Cost of membership is $200 a year. So if you got a $100 wine order, you'd save $10 to, that could be a monthly rate or whatever, but you'll get the discount on everything on the website. And there's no more wines that are without discount either. So we've cut that out, and we want to reward our members with unique opportunity. Very few. I don't know if we'll even have a sale next year where we give anybody percentages off. It just won't be something that we do. And if we do, it might be on a single category or a single wine. That's how we're going to be promoting the website. A little less sales, a little bit more hard to beat pricing. All right, getting back into the game. I've got 5 and 6 in my glasses.
Mm-hmm. Ian, what do you think are the standout vintages in these 2 regions?
So there's been an insane number of standout vintages in these 2 regions. And that's kind of part of the problem for Italian wines, is that it used to be like 3 vintages a decade were really, really good. It's almost every vintage in Barolo has been pretty solid. But certainly for Brunello, everyone was super excited about 19 and 21. 21 Brunellos will be coming out next year. 19s are kind of already starting to sell through. 15 and 16 were amazing. There was nothing wrong with 17 or 18, but there were things that made those vintages a little bit less than optimal. 15, 16, 19, 21. Those are the Brunello vintages. Barolo had some of those things in common, but has made very good wine almost every single year. And I think for Barolo, it's a little bit more about buying the producer than the vintage. And 21 is supposed to be one of the great vintages of all time in Barolo. But the problem is that the greatest vintages of all time also mean waiting the longest. And a 21 Barolo might mean you're not drinking that until 2031. And that's at the soonest. So, weigh what's important to you. And I would much rather buy top name producer in a more challenging vintage and I wouldn't buy anything from a terrible vintage, and they haven't really had a don't even bother type of a vintage ever in this last decade or so. But the vintages to pay attention to tend to come with some pretty good price increases. They come with a bluster of press, but also a little bit longer waiting pattern.
Thanks.
You got it. Let's go into the wines. Number 5. What do you see color-wise between 5 and 6? Maybe you already figured out color. Number 5. More leaf. More spice. More wood. More charred wood. Vanilla. There's a sweetness in the nose too. Number 6. So pretty. So tender, so delicate. It's like smelling a room of rose petals. And getting slammed in the teeth with a Mike Tyson right cross. Woo. That's gentle, but there's some tannin there. Going into the slideshow. Wine number 5, Casanova de Neri, Brunello de Montalcino White Label, 2018. I've been to Giacomo Neri's headquarters. Absolutely maniacal about quality. Unbelievable winemaking facility. State-of-the-art, modern, contemporary. Giacomo took over for the winery in 1991. He's been growing this brand at a sensational pace, getting huge scores, catching lots of attention. Real passionate, hardworking guy who wants to be first. It's his personality. He loves to win. This is the 40th anniversary vintage of Casanova de Neri. And he's got a great swagger to him too. He's just a super pleasant dude. I'm sure he is an absolute beast to work for during harvest. Bright fruit style, cherry, strawberry, currant, white pepper, mineral flavors, reveals almond and earth accents as it extends on the finish. Features a fine balance, mouth-watering length. Best from 2025 through 2042, and here we are, 2025. 94 points, Wine Spectator. There's his property. $78. The brand made a pretty big change in the way they distribute the wine. I think that'll actually work in their favor in the long run, but in the short term, really slowed down the sales velocity of this brand. Look, I gave it a score. And if my score is up there, that means nobody's scores were available yet when I scored the wine. '18 was a vintage that I'd say better than 17. 18 kind of came in behind the great vintages of 15, 16, and 19. But really a decent vintage, and a vintage you could buy at a relatively good price to quality. You won't see as many 100-pointers in 18 as you will in 19. But from this producer, they almost always get 95 plus. So you got it punished a little bit with their 2018. Wine number 6 is Giulia Negri. This is a single vineyard Barolo. Absolutely love everything that she's doing. Family has history back 150 years, but she's put her name on the new wines, and she's represented by Kermit Lynch. You have to buy these on release. They're gone. I wish I could carry 100 different SKUs of Barolo. I pick one wine from each producer typically that I love, and for hers, uh, you know, I'm better off picking one of the higher end wines. So made in Marassio, which is the highest location in all of Barolo. Limestone with veins of chalk provide a dense, profound earth and mineral driven Barolo. Great to drink after 5, 10, or 20 years. 96 points, James Suckling. There she is. Aromatic with blackberries, flowers, and perfumes, some lavender, full-bodied, very fine tannins that are like cashmere in texture, bright finish, lightly salty with crushed stones, reserved, complexed. Everything I taste from her has, I say this once in a while, and I don't mean to sound sexist or anything, but she's a lovely young lady, and you don't look at her and say, "Oh, she's going to make wines that are going to rip your face off." That's not when you look at her, you don't say that. And but there are winemakers that I have introduced you guys to in the past, big muscles, they've got no neck because they work out all the time, and they're gonna, extract everything out of the berry. And that's not what she's going to do. She's going to have an elegance about her wines, a balance, sensitivity. Uh, it, it's her angle, and it's her style, and it's being well loved and appreciated. There's a brightness, there's a freshness, there's a daftness to the wines that I think she'll be carrying forward for many, many years to come. My first trip to Barolo back in the late 1990s, I got to meet some other amazing Barolo women. And now I go back 25 years later, and their kids are getting ready to take over their wineries and stuff. And I remember them being kind of in the same age bracket as her, and how they were putting their mark on Barolo. And it's just fascinating to see how fast it happens, but also just, how far Barolo has come in the past 30 years and how far it has to go. The wines just started getting really good. And I think, uh, so many people, when they get to Barolo, they're like, that's a hard one to get into, but once you get into it, it's almost no turning back. I mean, it's like, once you get to Barolo, it's hard to go back to anything else. These are big, long aging collectible wines, and once you start to study Barolo and start to understand the complexities and how all those little vineyards are like, facets of a diamond, and knowing the land and how it all kind of spells out into the wine. It's fascinating. Her wines are not cheap. Grape Barolo is not cheap. I have been adding some beasts of Barolo to the website. I've sold some Barolo to some very fancy addresses recently. There's no limit to where these wines can go. I've got Barolo on the website now that's $2,500 a bottle that no one gets their hands on. It's that's I get 3 bottles. I got some Gaia 21s are in stock. Check them out. They're like $400 a bottle. I've got the 21s are going to be really coveted. That's the vintage, but will we live long enough? It's going to be the next question. It's they are beautiful big wines that will require some time. This 20, I think, by 2025, 20, we're in 25 now, so 2030, I think it'll really take a nice mature step, but you could see how youthful this one is. And it has a long life ahead of it, even though it's elegant and pretty. And not as extracted. It's still got the power. Janice, I'm so glad you liked it. Yeah,
That's
19.
amazing.
Oh, yeah, I love that word. Jim, you have the 19 laying down the Casanova de Neri. Got some 19. Prices were okay on that. Five is really good. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks for playing. Um, I'm glad you like that, Brunello, Thomas. Yes, Thomas, you got him right. Brunello, Barolo.
Yeah, it's interesting. You gave us enough clues to be able to pick this out, Ian.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. I actually found this last one to be the most difficult, but I think the color gives it away to a certain extent
Yeah.
of the two wines. Um, but they were both really good. But this Negri strikes me as being the compared to the what was it, the Cannubi, the one we had before.
Yeah.
That one felt like pretty ready to drink. This feels like a long time away. Am I
And-
am I right or
well, you are, but realize that they're how many years apart?
two
Two,
2 years,
two,
2 years? Yeah.
two. And I don't think um the vintages are that different, 18 and 20. I think they're pretty similar. So maybe 2 years from now, we'll be saying that, if it was reversed and we are having the 22 Cannubi with the 20 Negri, this one might be the one that's a little sooner to drink. So these are important a couple of years. I really like Barolo hitting that 7 year mark
Yeah.
for the Cannubi. So let's try this again in 2027 and see where we're at.
I'm
But
in.
definitely crispy and youthful. But the thing about her wines is there won't be a supply. Um, at Damilano, they make a good amount of wine. She's making teardrops amounts and selling it at a pretty high price, and it's gone vapor. I get one shot to buy them a year, and I'm hoping I get an offer on the 21 for the same wine because I bought the 20. I got to check in on that because it's probably coming around.
So I also love the Casanova de Neri, uh, and that one also struck me as being quite young from that
It-
standpoint. Did you say that he has other labels
yeah,
for
yeah,
that one?
he does. And white labels like their entry level.
Entry level. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
$78 for an entry level, but there you go, right? Yeah.
yeah. And
Very
then the
nice.
next level is up is in the over $100. And then they make their really good wines at the 225, 250 level. So yeah, the Casanova de Neri has definitely become a pretty expensive brand to follow. They took some pretty big price increases and then changed distributors, which was really I think 10 years from now he might regret that order of operation, but we'll have to see how the vintages go.
Hey, yeah, this was as usual a great tasting. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
My pleasure, guys.
Thank you.
I hope to see you guys next week. Next week we have my top wines of the year. It's a selection of wines, some top values, and I think we have 7 wines in the lineup next week because I had a hard time drawing the line. And then in January we do another iteration, which is a little more high-end leaning top wines. Uh, uh, both of them are based on having the wines available to sell. So check out the calendar. We've got the programming through February, I think, is on the calendar at this time. And if it's not up there yet, it will be in the next couple of days. But we've got Zooms now kind of wrapped and we're producing them through April of next year. And we're going to get a lot of wineries involved and get some more winemakers involved. And look forward to seeing you all again, hopefully soon. Thank you very much. Have a great night, everybody, and go Dodgers.